Go ahead.
All right, we're open.
Oh my god. These guys have like a whole plan.
Here, I'll drone.
These two are
Okay.
fucked.
I forgot
the
to
hell?
activate it.
Oh shit!
Ah!
Oh god! What I'm about to say is old news to everybody except for PSVR2 users, because Breaches has come out on PSVR2, and Breaches is unsurprisingly an incredible game. It's exactly what I was looking for in terms of a tactical FPS on PSVR2, and I'm so happy it has finally arrived.
At least 2.
Is that one dead down there?
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh shit on me!
Nice.
I panicked and I threw the field emitter around. However, it wasn't meant to arrive today, I've confirmed with the devs. I think this was a Sony QA kind of mistake. They allowed the game to pass through and it was subsequently published onto the store earlier yesterday morning. And you can kind of tell that because the PlayStation Store isn't set up for the skins yet, and the game didn't work for the first hour. However, the devs jumped on it and they fixed it. They updated the game to the latest build of the game, and the game was up and running within about an hour or so, which is pretty amazing. It was just simply rolling out a new patch, but I've seen AAA devs react slower than these guys have, so hats off to them. Aside from all of that launch stuff, let's talk about why Breaches is actually one of the best games on PSVR2, and it's coming in quite late in 2023, but I'm so glad that it's finally here.
I hear him, he's coming.
Oh, fuck. The game's format is the closest thing to perfect I've seen in this genre of game in terms of VR. There are 3 game modes. One is Team Deathmatch, which is first to however many kills. Control Point, which is similar, but you have to get on one point in the center or on another point on the map. But the biggest mode and the main focus is Bomb Defusal. This works like any other game like Siege or Counter-Strike, where one team has to go in, plant the bomb, while the other team defends the sites, which are split into 2 sites, A and B, which are marked on your HUD, and have to stop the attackers from getting in and planting. It's best of 12 rounds, first to 6, so one team can stomp if they're doing very, very well. And the round consists of the buying phase, where both teams buy their guns with the money they've earned from the previous round, and buy their utilities, their grenades, their attachments, and all that good stuff. And this system works really well. You have a menu in front of you that you press to select everything that you want to buy. It feels tactile, it feels good, and some of the things you can buy here are honestly just amazing things to experience in VR, but we'll get onto that in a bit.
You're in A?
Yeah, with Devil Inside, me and him are in. A is clear, B isn't. Never mind, A is not clear, not clear. Past that, the teams switch. So the attackers will now be the defenders, and the defenders will now be the attackers. So you get to experience both on each map that you play. The visuals of the game are pretty stellar. Now, the resolution isn't the highest I've ever seen, but it seriously is not bad at all, in my opinion. And I think the visual style helps with this because enemy players are very easily seen. They're in really easily identifiable blue and yellow outfits, which distinguish the teams, so it's really easy to tell who's a friendly and who's not. And the aesthetics of the maps that I've played so far, in my about 2.5 hours of playtime, all feel grounded in realism, but have a futuristic sci-fi sort of undertone that I really don't mind. It fits well because it all feels cohesive and nothing really feels out of place. Same with the guns, they all look really great and you can tell the real life inspirations for all of them, but they all have a sort of sci-fi twist. You feel like a Cyberpunk 2077 police force is what I would say, for at least the attacking side. So visually the game looks pretty great both in the art direction department and the clarity department. But things can look great, but how do they actually play? Well, let's tackle the biggest one, which is gunplay. Luckily here, the gunplay has been incredibly refined and feels amazing. I haven't had this much fun and been this addicted to a game's gunplay in VR since Pavlov back at the launch of PSVR 2. I haven't given any game praise as high as I did for Pavlov's gunplay, but I think Breaches is possibly on par with it. The gunplay feels different, don't get me wrong, it feels more tuned and subdued than Pavlov's recoil in some cases, and the reloading here is slightly simplified. You still eject your mag and put a new mag in manually, but the gun will basically cock itself and time itself after that, so that all the gun's reloads are technically the same for balance. Now this is something similar to what Firewall did, but instead in Firewall you press a button and it does all the reloading for you. Here you do half the process, and to be honest you wouldn't lose any immersion because it feels very similar to the manual Pavlov reloads, just without cocking the cocking handle of the gun. That's a very roundabout way of saying the reloading is a good balance between competitive and immersive. And as I said, the gun aesthetics all feel grounded, but also feel a little bit futuristic, which I quite like. All the maps you battle across are also pretty stunning in terms of art direction and layout. They have good cover for blocking sightlines and creating defensive and offensive positions, but they also feel like real places, which is the main thing I'm looking for in tactical games like this. Does the map serve its purpose on a visual level, and is it designed well? All the maps I've played so far have ticked off both of these boxes. He's just poking his hands up.
We can shoot through the wall, huh? I think. Yeah, we can.
Sorry, I just walked around and shot him. We've got a... Fuck. That's what we've got. A guy.
Oh.
Now all that specific stuff is out the way, I want to highlight some features and parts of this game that really blew me away. And the first one is just how great the teamwork feels here. Everybody has comms and the player base is huge, and also a lot of people already know what they're doing because this is crossplay with PSVR and Quest. So you'll jump into lobbies of people who've played the game for a year, and also new players who are just jumping in now because it's out on PSVR2, meaning that everybody's talking to each other at the moment at least. It's an awesome feeling, and I think Breaches has nailed it better than any other VR game that I've played in terms of teamwork and cooperation. The gadgets are all so cool, from the breaching foam, which is definitely my favorite because you get such a cool feeling setting off the breaching charges on windows and doors and walls. It's honestly amazing.
Okay, I'm gonna get my grenade out. I'm gonna instantly throw
Okay, yeah. We'll breach. I'll count down, I'll blow it, and then we'll both throw a grenade in.
Well, we can't instantly, so we can't be right beside it, but...
Okay. Right. Okay. 3, 2, 1, go in. Nade.
Oh, that grenade totally failed.
It's alright, it was the cool points that counted. And I can't talk about Breaches without talking about the rappelling system, which just honestly, it's pretty flawless. I didn't think rappelling could work that well in VR, but here we are. You point your arm up, the rappel goes up, and then you can traverse it like normal, like you would in Rainbow Six, and it honestly feels so cool to do. And finally, I want to delve into something else that really blew me away, and that's that this game has possibly the best animations, I would call it, and body system of any multiplayer game in VR that I've ever played, which is something I really didn't expect and haven't heard much about before I actually jumped in to review it. Breach's body system for other players and yourself is seriously impressive. The way it interprets where your hands are, where your arms are, where you're leaning, where you're turning, it's honestly amazing. I can't really describe it, but having somebody in this game in front of you or rappelling on a window or miming out an action, it feels more real than any other multiplayer game I've ever played in VR. It really does. And that just kind of blew me away. The biggest thing I think is the leaning. Actually seeing a teammate lean around a corner and stay stationary is something I've never seen in VR before. It's stupidly good, it really is, and I can't really convey with words how cool that is to see in VR, but everyone around you feels like they're actually there. It's something I can't explain, you've just got to experience it, but yeah, it did blow me away. So those are my first impressions of Breaches on PSVR 2. A really incredible port that lives up to the hype, and a downright incredible game that has some of the best mechanics I've ever seen and some of the most satisfying and teamwork focused gameplay in all of VR. Congratulations to the team for such an incredible job on the PSVR 2 version of this game. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. Please do let me know if you've been enjoying it too in the comments below, and give me your predictions for the final release date of the final game, hopefully of 2023, which will be Vertigo 2, and chances are one of you will probably be right. Anyway, thank you all for watching. Hope you did enjoy. I really enjoyed my time with this one. If you did, feel free to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you all in the next video.
Let me at him. Let me at him.